Welcome back to the course, guys. In this lecture, we are going to look at how you can edit your photos directly from Canva. So I'm going to start from my Pro account. And the reason why I'm going to use my Pro account is that some photo editing features are only for Pro users. So some specific features are going to be only for Pro members, Pro subscribers, namely the background remover. That is mostly the one that comes to my mind when it comes to features for editing photos. Pretty much the rest of the features will be available for free users as well. So apart from the background remover, there is nothing else I believe free users won't be able to do. But because I want to illustrate the background remover when it comes to editing photos, I decided to go ahead and use my Pro account. Anyhow, how do you edit photos with Canva? Well, we will start from the home page by using this icon that we see here on the search bar that says Edit Photo. So I'm going to click on that. So we are going to start by selecting one photo. Canva will only allow you to edit photos one by one. And when you start from this little icon right here, you will have to select only one photo. You cannot import a batch of photos from there. Okay, so what I need to do is to locate my folder. So, okay, in my visuals, Fairtrade connection, and I'm going to work with this folder right here where I have a couple of different photos. I'm going to use this one and I'm going to tell you why in a second. Okay, so this is the photo I'm going to be working with. This lady right here is called Sonia. She lives in Bangladesh, and I interviewed her with Fairtrade Connection, my nonprofit, back in the days. I don't remember exactly the date, but it was like a couple of years back. And I do have a video about Sonia. So what I want to do here is to prepare the work for the rest of this section where we will be designing all sorts of visuals for social media. And I will be designing everything for my nonprofit, Fairtrade Connection, because I want this content to be as down to earth, useful in real life as possible. I'm going to be creating some real content that will be published on my social media accounts for Fairtrade Connection. Okay, so from here, a couple of information. We have the photo dimension. Okay, we have its title. So we can edit photo or use it in a design. If we click on edit photo, it will open a document that has the dimensions of the photo. If I click on use in a design, I can immediately create a design which will have the dimensions of pretty much whatever type of content I want to create for a specific platform. So let's go ahead and use in a design, and I will say, for example, a Facebook post. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. Canva is going to create a Facebook post. So the dimensions of a Facebook post, you can always click on File to see the dimensions, 940 by 788 pixels. And it will import my photo of Sonia here, and it will be placed in the middle of my document. Okay, so this is great. I can start designing from here. I'm not going to create the Facebook post, but I just wanted to show you that you can decide to open a specific document straight away. If you already know, okay, I'm going to edit a photo with the intention to post it on Facebook, well, go ahead and create a Facebook post. For now, I'm going to go back to home, and I want to show you how to edit the photo, the same photo, but this time with the dimensions of the photos. This time I clicked on edit photo, and you will see a document is created with the file of this photo. Okay, so let me show you what you can do with your photo. You can actually do three things. The first is to enhance your photo, the second is to transform your photo, and the third is to apply filters and effects. We are going to talk about each of these categories of actions you can take, but first let's start with how to enhance your photos. So the first thing I want to do is to click on the photo itself in order for me to see that button right here that says Edit Image. So I'm going to click on that, and I can see this new menu popping up. Okay, so if I scroll down, there's a bunch of different things, and straight from here, I want to show you the different things. So remember I said you can do one of three things. The first one is to enhance. So enhancing your photo, meaning you can crop it or you can reframe it. You can also adjust a couple of settings here. So brightness, contrast, saturation. If I click on see all, you can see the list of settings that I can modify is actually way longer. And you can also use some auto enhance features. If you scroll back to the bottom of this, you see auto enhance and auto focus. Face retouch also is a enhance feature. Now, one thing I need to say is that this photo has already been kind of worked on. So there's already some work that has been put into this photo. I retouched the photo back in the days after shooting it. So this is not the raw photo, okay? It's already kind of embellished. Again, let's go back to our edit image menu right here. And let's start to play around with these settings. I want to show you some of the things you can do with this photo. So we are in the enhance category. I think the most obvious set of settings is the adjust, okay? So there is a shortcut here on top, or you can simply scroll to this section right here and click on see all to see all of these sliders. So you can adjust the luminosity or the brightness of your photo, you can add some contrast or remove some contrast in your photo, saturation. If you take the saturation slider all the way to the left, you'll have a black and white photo or a desaturated photo. You can play around with the tint, the blur. Blur is interesting in that way that you can sharpen an image. Obviously here it's quite ugly when you do that, or you can blur an image. That could be useful for some special occasion, like specific occasions. But here I feel like this photo is quite well focused. Maybe I can move the slider slightly to the left here, maybe -3 to sharpen it slightly more. X-process to kind of play around with the colors. I wouldn't do that too much with this one. You can add a vignette. Okay, so that could be interesting, but we're not going to do this here. So I'm going to leave it at 50. You can play around with the warmth, or actually remove the vignette to 0. The warmth, the clarity. So clarity is to add some light, I would say, in the photo, but again, because it's already been treated before, I'm not going to play around with this too much. Vibrance, same. Highlights, shadows, and fade. So these sliders are pretty much the classic settings you would expect from a photo editing platform. It's already pretty complete, like you have a bunch of settings. One thing I like also here at the bottom is that Canva gives you a filter code. If you copy this filter code and apply it on another photo, meaning, let's say if I have another photo here, let's grab a photo from the elements, let's say Bangladesh lady. Let's try this and find a photo. Let's see if I can find a lady from Bangladesh. There's not many ladies from Bangladesh in here, Canva. What's going on? Maybe this lady, I'm not sure if she's from Bangladesh. Doesn't seem because the way she dresses, but let's use that. I just want to illustrate what this photo code actually does. So let me go back to my adjust settings. Yes, I'm going to grab this photo filter code. I will Command C or Control C. I'm copying this, and I'm going to this photo right here, and I'm going to do the same. Going to the Adjust button and paste Control V or Command V. And now I have this filter right here, which is exactly the same filter. Meaning, if I bring some modifications here, we don't really see this too much because I didn't apply many adjustments to the first photo. But let's say I'm gonna go all out here and desaturate. Okay, now I have a different filter here. I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna apply it to this photo because I want to show you what it does. Okay, so adjust, and I'm gonna paste this, and you see basically all the settings from my first photos are kind of reflected in this filter code, and then I can paste that on other photos. Another way to do this, let me Control Z, this color correction here. I'm gonna click on the first photo and use the copy style button and then click here. And this does the same. So all the attributes from the first photo will be pasted on the second photo. Okay, I'm gonna delete this lady here and keep my photo of Sonia. I'm gonna go back to edit image and bring back my saturation to 0. Okay, because I like the color. All right, so this is the first set, I would say, of features. These are the adjust sliders that you will find under the adjust here. Something else you can do is to crop or to reframe your photo. Now, how do you do that? You'll have to first detach your photo from the background. Okay, so remember, right click, detach image from background, and now you have access to some more features. You'll see the little corners of the photos have some circles in them. So if you grab a corner and you drag, you will resize the image. Okay, this is not really what we want to do, but if you grab a handle here on one of the sides, you will actually crop the photo. Okay, now I'm cropping the photo. If I want some sort of like square headshot, I can have that. Okay, if not, I can bring my photo back to its original size. So that's one thing. If you can also double click on the photo and crop the photo in this way. Okay, the difference between this way and the first one I showed you is that when you crop like this, you don't really see anything. Okay, Control Z. But if you double click and crop using the corners here, then you see the entirety of the photo. So I would recommend you crop this way. And also you have your lower thirds, so the lines that you see here, so vertically and horizontally, these kind of help you for your framing. So here I can see pretty well framed. I have her entire face in this central square, central tile of my photo, like it's divided into 9 little similar square. So I like that everything is here. Yeah, so this will help you pretty much frame your photos. Here, the photo is framed in such a way that I can use this space here for some text, some visuals. So this is pretty good. I'm not gonna change that photo framing for now. Okay, so we've covered cropping, framing, adjusting all the sliders. The last thing I want to show you, if I click on the photo and go edit image for my enhancement features, is the auto features. Okay, so you remember I told you we had some auto enhance features. So right here, let's click on that. So since this is the first time I'm using this extension in Canva, I'm gonna have to confirm that I want to use it. And now I can use it here. So Canva can actually auto enhance this photo. It's still a beta feature. Can show the original and show the auto enhance feature. It's actually quite better, so I'm going to use that. You can add to the intensity of this filter, which is interesting. You see before, after, is slightly less light on her face, so it's pretty much a little bit more balanced. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this auto enhance to my photo. So that's all the enhanced features. There is the face retouch as well. So this feature right here, let me open it and show you what it does. So this is pretty much to retouch faces. Here, Sonia's face is already looking pretty good. So I don't know if I really need to use this feature, but I want to show you what it does. So basically you have your 4 settings right here. The auto one is going to modify each of the 3 settings here. So smoothen the skin, whiten the teeth, and get rid of red eyes. We don't see her teeth here, so this slider right here is not gonna apply too much for us because we don't see any teeth. Red eyes, I don't see her eyes being so red, but these features exist in Canva. They can help you pretty much reduce, yeah, we can see some difference. But her eyes, that were originally kind of brown, turned more like black. So, but we got rid of the redness in the eyes as well. So her look is a little bit deeper when I use this feature. I'm not gonna mess with that too much because I want this photo to kind of be original. But I just wanted to let you know that these features exist in Canva for you to play around with. Okay, moving on to the second type of actions you can take in Canva when working on editing photos. It's the transformative actions, okay? So for that, again, like make sure your photo is selected, go and click on edit image. And we are talking here about tools like smart mockups, background remover. So the background remover is to get rid of the background of an image. You have other tools like shadows and outlines. So your shadows here with which you can create outlines. I'll cover that in a minute. you have your blur. So the blur app right here will add some blur in your photo, which could be interesting as well. And then you can add frames as well. Let me show you where the frames are. Frames are right here. So let's cover these one by one. Let's start by the most obvious one, the only one, which is the Pro feature, which is background remover. Okay, so to apply the background remover, if you're a Canva Pro user, just click on this button right here, and then Canva will do its magic and get rid of the background for you. Okay, so this is what we get. So here I'm seeing that I might be missing a little bit of her hair, of Sonia's hair here. So I'm going to click on Restore. I'm going to zoom in and try to see, slightly touching here to see if I can make this look a little bit more natural. Something like that looks way better. So I'm going to zoom out. Yes, it looks a little bit less weird. So I'm happy with this. I'm going to click on Done. Okay, but background remover has the erase and restore function. We've seen that in another lecture, so I'm not going to expand too much here. I'm happy with this photo, so I'm going to click on Done. And from here, just click on Apply. And now the background of this photo has been cut out. I can easily like reframe this or just get rid of the white space here. And I have my photo of Sonia that I can use on any type of background. Now, this is if you are going to create some sort of new design with this. This could be super useful for creating for social media. But for the purpose of this lecture, I'm going to keep it like so, but I'm also going to add a new page. Actually, let me delete. I'm going to duplicate this page and keep Sonia without a background here. But on this one, I'm going to go back to my edit image and I want to restore the original. Okay, so you always have this button right here that helps you go back to your original photo. This will clear any effect, any enhancement that you might have brought to your photo, and including the background remover. So I'm going to click on that. I can see that the cropping has been preserved. So when I say any effect apart from the cropping. So yeah, this is pretty much my original photo, and I want to continue showing you some of the transform actions you can take with Canva. But let's keep this one without the background for later. So another one effect that I like and I use quite regularly in terms of transformation is the shadows. Okay, so shadows, let me show you where to find it. You will find a section here that says shadows. If you click on See All, you will see that there are 6 different shadows here that you can apply to your photo. This one, because it's a rectangular photo, if you use shadow, let me resize this down a little bit. And if you click on shadows, the shadow will be applied to the entire photo, meaning the entire rectangle. Let's apply this curved shadow, for example, and you see you'll have this slight shadow right here that makes it as if the photo was kind of hovering over your blank and your white canvas right here. So this is pretty cool. I like this effect. Could look very nice on a presentation, for example, and you can play around with the settings as well of this specific curved effect. So if I click here, I have different sliders, namely the curve, the offset, see the transparency of this shadow, less or more, the blur. So you can really have like some fine-tuned shadows. Even the color can be transformed. So for now, I'm going to cancel that. I just wanted to show you how shadows look from an entire photo. Now, you can also apply shadows to a photo that has been worked with the background remover. So for example, this photo without a background, I could also apply a shadow to this photo. So same, click on the photo, edit image, then find your shadows, see all. And I want to show you a specific shadow that brings a specific type of outcome, and that is the glow shadow. If you click on glow, you can easily create a glow around your photo. And now because it doesn't have a background anymore, it's just like this outline is going around my figure, my character here in the photo, my subject. So again, I'm going to click on the setting options. I'm going to bump the size of this outline And I'm going to play around with transparency. You see, if I go all the way to the left, I don't see the outline. But if I go all the way to the right, then my shadow, my glow is more intense. Okay, and if I get rid of the blur, it becomes a line. See? And now I can change the color of this line and have this cool effect where we have this outline around my photo. So usually you would use that for a YouTube thumbnail, for example. Usually it's going to be a white outline. So if I change the color of this background to, I don't know, for example, let's say this green right here, we will see a clean outline around my photo right here. Okay, so this is pretty cool. I can also add some blur and add some sort of lighting effect with the same shadow and glow effect right here. So just make sure that you use the different settings, and you can play around with these sliders right here to give your photo some cool effects. Add some blur to make it softer, for example. Here I have two separate glow on top of one another, so this is what it can look like, but you can see here the potential already of such effects. Okay, so let's continue seeing how you can transform your photos with Canva. So going back to my original photo here, edit image one more time. Now I want to show you smart mockups. Okay, smart mockups is a smart and quick way to add your photo into a mockup. Okay, so scroll down and you should see a section here that says Smart Mockups. This is free, so this will be available for pro users and free users. So simply click on See All right here. And what you see when you use Smart Mockups is a series of different mockups. So what is a mockup? Well, it's like a pre-made design on which you can add your own design. Okay, so you can place your design in a context. Here you can see a phone, a computer, a business card, a t-shirt, a mug. So there's a bunch of different mockups, we call them mockups, in which you can insert your own design. So this is pretty cool. For example, if I want to add the photo of Sonia into a computer, for example, this computer right here, just click on it, and then now all of a sudden this is going to happen. So this could be super useful when it comes to, for example, bringing your designs to life, basically putting them in such a context that it can tell a story. Okay, so don't forget that you can also play around with the settings here. So do not click anywhere else outside of the photo while applying smart mockups to your photo. Just make sure you click on the settings first. So in terms of settings, you have fill, fit, and custom. So these are just different ways your photo will fit the mockup, basically. So customs will help you reduce the size, make it bigger, make it smaller. This could be pretty useful when you use a logo, for example, on a t-shirt or on a mug. But here, I'm pretty happy with this, so I'm going to apply. And now I have this beautiful mockup created with Sonia's photo right here. So one more time, I'm going to go back. I'm going to apply this effect to show you, okay, how it's done, and then go back to edit image, and I'm one more time restoring this to the original, so getting rid of the smart mockups. Okay, so in terms of transforming your photos, we've talked about the background remover, we've talked about shadows and outlines, we've talked about smart mockups. Now let's talk about blur and frames. Okay, so blur is a relatively new app in Canva. It's this app right here. It's under Tools. Okay, so if I click on blur, I can add some blur and I can restore parts of the images in which I've added my blur. So let's first add some blur. Okay, I want to blur pretty much everything here, like all of the background, so that Sonia pops out a little bit more on this photo. Let's see what it does. Okay, so I'm trying to only paint the background here, painting everything in this background, like so. Okay, not touching Sonia's face. There you go. So I've added the blur. Maybe I can add some intensity. And you see, yeah, this is pretty good actually. If I compare to the original, see what it does. So I would say this is pretty good. Like I should probably restore this part right here where I touch her shoulder a little bit too much. Yeah, done. And now I have this photo with my added blur. I can apply it like so. Yes, and now this photo is way blurrier and she's kind of more detached from the background. Okay, so one more time, I'm gonna restore to original and you will see the effect here with the background coming back to life and focus. There you go. So that's the blur. Pretty useful if you ask me to create more professional looking photos where your subject is completely in focus but the background is blurred. So that's a blur. The last transform effect I want to show you is frames. Okay, so again, click on your photo, edit image, and scroll until you see frames. Okay, frames is right here. You can click on that. I'm going to connect the app to Canva. And then from here, I can add a bunch of different frames. Basically, I can add a laptop frame, I can add a phone frame, I can add a white laptop, tablet, different kinds of frames, basically. Okay, if you click on phone, for example, and you see your photo is framed in such a way that you don't really like, you can click on the option settings that you see here. And then you can, the crop position, you can slide it one way or another. So you can reframe this correctly and then click on apply. So this is pretty much frames. You have a variety of different frames here. Let me restore this photo to original. Okay, I'm gonna apply it first. Good. Next, click on it, edit image, again, restore to original. I've been doing this quite a bunch of times since the beginning of this video. Yeah, let me go back to frames and show you some other frames. So you have a bunch of different frames here. Some others that I like, the neon borders could be interesting to have this kind of effect. It's kind of not so subtle, so maybe it's a little bit too much. But the device frames here are pretty interesting. So let me click on none and get back to the page here. Okay, so we've covered the enhancement features, we've covered the transformative features. Now let's jump into the last set of features when it comes to editing your photos in Canva, and these are the filters and effects. Okay, so similarly, you will go to your edit image button and this time look for the filters. So if you click on see all here, you will see a bunch of different filters. So these are pretty much preset filters that you can apply in one click to your photos. You can always change the settings with the little slider here. You can go black and white, you can go grayscale. But for me, because I have a specific brand style guide and a specific imagery style that we will be following and respecting with Fairtrade Connection, I'm not going to apply any of these filters. There are more filters and more effects that you can apply to your photo. For example, the photogenic set of filters have some interesting filters as well. If you are into this, there's more to it, especially the color pop here can have some pretty funky stuff going on. So this could be interesting, some monochromatic. Okay, I'm going to cancel this. What else do we have? We have, yeah, bad TV, color mix, trippy. So all of these are effects that I recommend you explore. For example, the pixelate could be interesting if you want to pixelate your photo. That could be interesting, and your sliders here can add more or less pixels in your photo if you wish. I'm going to cancel that. But yeah, these are all the effect and filters that you can apply easily. Oh yeah, one that I particularly like, I should have started with this one, is the duotone effect. Okay, duotone is one of my favorite effects in Canva for photos because it has a bunch of preset duotone effects built in. Okay, so you can go pop, violet, amber. So this can be really cool to create some trendy social media post, eye-catching post, and really set a different tone with your photos, okay? What I like also about this effect is that you can customize each of the colors. If you have your brand colors, you can really change them here and have some stuff. Sometimes it's not looking very good, but you can add different colors here according to your taste. Okay, but I think the presets are very well done. I particularly like the pop effect. The fuchsia is also cool. So I know Spotify has been playing around with these types of visuals a lot, and then some other brands have kind of jumped on that trend as well. So this could really still work on social media, but it really depends on what you have decided in your brand imagery, in your brand style guide. What kind of effects are you okay with? And so yeah, so this will kind of dictate what you do, but you can always try something different as well. Duotone is something interesting to play around with. I'm going to cancel this. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to show you in this lecture. In the next lecture, I will show you that you can also start from your mobile phone when it comes to editing photos on Canva. I will see you there.